early today.
I was just gonna say you were premature this morning.
Like
Dang.
3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds too early. I was like, "You know what? Why not?"
You like living on the edge. I know that.
Yeah, it makes life exciting. There's different ways that you can find excitement. Sometimes when you're younger, it's driving a car fast or riding your bike down a hill as fast as you can, or sitting on a skateboard, going down a hill into potential oncoming traffic and burning out the bottoms of your shoes. Right? How many times? Do you ever do that? Do you burn out the bottoms of your heels, like going downhill on a skateboard type thing?
No.
No.
I get what you're saying, but I never did it. No.
Never did it. All right. Well, something the next time you're in a hilly community, pick up a skateboard, go do it, and see what happens. It could be fun.
Yeah.
Age is just a perspective. It's just a number.
It is.
So
it is, except for the part when your bones break more easily than they probably used to, and
it takes longer for them to heal.
Yeah.
Yep.
It can be nutty. It can be nutty for sure.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna completely rerun the show today. I already ran it this morning.
Yeah.
Well, let me go back to it because the images I have up as my background today map up the script I already ran. So we'll just go with that.
Look at this. The chat is live. We got Beth Pagano in here. Hey, Beth, how are you doing? Beth is our first chat participant comment that we've gotten from our Twitter, I'm an old guy.
X.
So X, from our X integration. Way to go, Beth. I met Beth through the Sales Rebellion, Dale Dupree's group, and she is absolutely awesome. We were going back and forth on the good old LinkedIn DM yesterday. And what I realized is sometimes when I say people's names out loud, not everybody knows who they are or what the relationship is and all of that. And Beth helped remind me of that yesterday. So Beth, thanks. Good to see you. I think that's one of the things that I hope everybody kind of takes away from this is with the whole working out loud, we're going to say that we're going to do things and then we're going to go do things. And we're going to share what happens when we do those things. And sometimes when you do things for the first time, those things don't work out the way you expect. And other times when you do things, even for the second or third or fourth time, with the way the tech's evolving, things won't work out the same way. And I ran into that after getting super excited about this Whiteboard Wednesday. I was like, dude, this is going to change the world. It's going to be awesome. Everybody's going to go in and they're going to be able to watch the video and they're going to interact with Ask YouTube. Didn't work the way that it did the other day. And I had that whole kind of wah, wah, wah music going on in the background or sound effect going on in the background. I swear the other day when I tested it, I asked this question as a, whatever, insert role, how would this apply? And it gave some stuff. Today, the response was, sorry, Dave, I can't do that. And
what's not working about it? I don't understand. What do you mean?
Yeah, so you'd have to go out there and test it and try it out. But at least for me, the thing that I wanted people to do is watch this longer form Whiteboard Wednesday video on decision making. And that's the one I pushed out this morning. Now, a little bit of production type stuff. In order for the algorithm to pick things up, I actually recorded it yesterday, pushed it out yesterday, had it scheduled to release at 4:15 this morning. So, and what I find is, for those of you who are starting to get more comfortable and kind of playing around with YouTube a bit, if you schedule things to go, you'll get more views on the front end, or at least I get more views on the front end. And I don't know exactly what is happening there. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell us exactly what's happening and why that happens with YouTube, because with some of the other platforms, if you schedule, you don't get the views. It's all, again, the machines are trying to control the humans. But I pushed this thing live, and what I wanted them to do is go in and just test, hey, I don't think you need to chunk content up as much anymore. I think you can engage with the AI tool like Ask Gemini or Ask YouTube in the YouTube app and get the information you want without having to watch the entire video. Like, don't make me watch, I don't need to watch your 12-minute video on decision making. What I need are the summary points, and I want to go directly to the thing that sounds interesting. It still works that way. If you hit summarize this video, it'll give you that kind of stuff. And you can go to the specific segments without me having to do anything extra, meaning I didn't have to break the video into individual segments and say, go here if you're interested in 2x2s, and then go here if you're interested in figuring out how to apply territory planning to your decision making. Like all that kind of stuff. I don't have to do it. You can do it with initiative and questions.
I think that's what we wanted to talk about, or something that came up yesterday. So basically, it's to put it into learning and development context. It's no longer needing to worry too much about your video as long as your content is findable, consumable, shareable by AI. All of these tools that are coming out can give you all of the things you need. It can give you the chunk, it can give you the summary, and it can tailor it specifically to you as an individual. So the AI or the Ask Gemini or Ask AI on YouTube can either it knows you and your preferences and what you're trying to learn. It knows and has discerned all of the things in the video, and then it takes into consideration the specific question that you, as the controller of the AI, are asking it. So it takes those three elements, pulls all of them together, and which is what a good instructional designer or a good teacher or a good coach would be doing. And it's giving you the answers that you're looking for or the feedback. And what we discovered or started thinking about and testing yesterday, like Mike said, is doing just that. And why don't people do that more often? And B, how come nobody's talking about it?
That's the thing that's surprising me. I had the conversation with someone else yesterday, and the way that conversation started with, so what's your familiarity with YouTube? Yeah, that was part of the conversation, and really cool conversation. Someone with a PR background trying to help us solve for some of the things that we're struggling with from a get the distribution side of things. Like when you're in L&D, and I'm going to be really, like secretive because people may not think that this is the case, but when you're in L&D, distribution to your audience is a lot easier than inside an organization than if you're outside of an organization. You have an audience who happens to get a paycheck from the same company. You have an audience with the same domain in their email address from the same company. You know where they work. You know where they hang out. So distribution is a little bit different. Like, where everybody's in this space, yet we'll still struggle with implementing new technology. We get that death spike where everybody starts using it, then everything kind of falls off, and what happens? And people go back to where they are. But the interesting thing was, like, what's your familiarity with YouTube? We kind of went through this and kind of how we're screwing around with it and trying to figure some things out, working out loud, doing that. But then I said, hey, have you seen this? And she had not. And I said, this is going to completely change things. Like, just test it with some of your clients and say, how would you interpret this through this lens? Because we're talking about a specific niche market that she's focusing on in another area. Again, when people see it, they start to light up. But it's not like YouTube has this big purple circle or something around it when you come in and be like, hey, dummy, click here. It's not there because they're testing. And that's the beauty of testing. Like, when you roll out new technology, you don't necessarily always tell people about it. You want to see, how do people discover it?
Right.
Like, how do they find it? And then once they find it, what do they do with it without a lot of prodding and nudging? Because then you kind of get a sense for human behavior around those things. But anyway, I think it's cool. I'm super stoked about it.
It's super cool. Well, it's if we look at the transition, it's as cool as, and nobody ever talked about the pause button or the fast forward button or the rewind button.
Rewind 30 seconds. Like, how amazing was that? Where you could just hit the rewind button and it would go back either 15 seconds or 30
right,
seconds.
you could, and right, instructional designers would rather talk about the theories of repetition and why it's important, instead of saying, you know, a really cool way to like consume an important piece of content. If you're listening to something, rewind it and listen to it again. Rewind it and listen to it again. Everybody's like, nobody's gonna watch a 12-minute video on blah 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 blah, and you know, what if they don't sit through it, and what if the one nugget they need is at like 10 minutes, but they don't watch the whole thing. And it's like, hey, technology solved that problem a long time ago. You can listen to things at 2x, 1x, 1.5x, you could slow it way down. If you're slow and you want to really focus, slow it to 0.5 and listen to something really slow. You know, if you listen to it once and you want to find something again, you can click, forward. Okay, listen, click forward 10 seconds, click forward 15 seconds, click forward 20 seconds, all those things. Well, now nobody ever talked about how cool that was, by the way, as a technology. And I always just thought it was amazing. Like you were saying, rewind, listen to something. Ooh, that was cool what that guy just said. Rewind, listen to it again. Rewind, listen to it again, until it is like hammered into your brain. If it's a lecturer and you're a student, just rewind, listen to it again. Rewind, listen to it again. That's the value of it. Now with the AI summarizing the whole darn thing, you don't even need that. You just get to ask AI a question. Hey, send me to the point in the script where Mike is talking about blah, blah, blah. And then
you can even go in there and say, what did the speaker say about this? And it will quickly come back and say, oh, the speaker didn't say anything about that, but they said this. Maybe that's what you heard.
Right.
You're like, oh, wait a second. Hold on. I didn't hear it completely. And that's
then the coolest thing is you could say, oh, search the internet for me, please, and find all of the scientific references that also support that and refute that particular point.
It is I posted this the other day or yesterday on Twitter. I said, I forget exactly how I said it. I have to go back in there, but it was basically what I said is, there is no reason for you to not keep learning.
Yeah.
It is, so many of the limits have been taken away. The key pieces, or the two things that I look for when I'm hiring, two core things I'm always looking for when I'm hiring. What is your attitude? What is your initiative? Do you have the right attitude? Do you demonstrate initiative? If you have those two things, you can literally figure anything out. Now, you can pay someone to figure out things faster. So, and not everybody's going to be able to do that. I get it. But if you're in one of those situations and you're just kind of trying to figure out what to do, you might have a little bit more time than the other person who has to pay someone to go a little bit faster. Like
you could be the one somebody pays to learn something faster and share it with them once you're done learning it.
It is. It's awesome. It's an awesome time to be alive, and it's an awesome time to be able to interact with this technology. And it takes all of the things that I thought were super cool when I was a kid, like the Zork books, where I could choose my own adventure and go to page 115, or decide to not open the door and go to page 67 or whatever. But like,
right,
all of those kind of things, and you get to interact in real time with this technology with all of the other things. Now, here's the other part: buyer beware, because there's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah.
And so you've got to, you can, and this is a security thing, trust, verify. You can trust the information, ask some questions around it, but then go verify it and test it in your operating environment. Have a conversation with a real human being on the other side and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or how have you done this? Or here's the one that's even more amazing. A lot of times the people who are sourced in that content make themselves available. You can go to their website. You can book time with them. You can chat with them. You can hit them up in the DM. You can slide into their DMs and you do these things. And it is an awesome time to be alive if you got the right attitude and you demonstrate some initiative.
Absolutely.
So I'm stoked. But at the same time, I'm irritated because I think it worked a different way before, and now they kind of dumbed it down on me, and I'm like, I think I'd have to go back to screenshots. Like the screenshots. Did you see the screenshots I shared on our
Yeah.
chat? It wasn't yesterday's chat because it takes a while for YouTube to catch up.
It's got to process it and all that kind of
So
stuff. Yeah.
so I had to go the day before.
Mhm.
But I mean, we Tim Walker, one of the guys I used to work with back when he was over at General Dynamics. He responded in there. He was like, "Hey, this thing on business acumen is so important. It's what a leader helped me understand early in my career." That wasn't in the text of the LinkedIn post. It was in the screenshot of the summary of the conversation you and I had around the importance of business acumen and some basic questions that we can ask, right?
Okay.
Like that context is there based on a summary that comes out, not based on the text that was put into a post. I'm telling you, attitude and initiative, and then the ability to ask a couple of questions, and the world is your oyster.
It is unbelievable. I'll do one way back story. The back in the day, it's the same. I'm getting the same feeling and the same excitement that you have, and with AI and what we're learning from it, that I had back in the early days, very early days of RSS feeds and blogs, and when uh, they they first added audio into it. Because in the early days of the RSS feeds and subscribing to something, it could only be text. You could only get text, so it was just the blog stuff. And then once they started adding media as a container in it, that's when podcasting started. Except they didn't originally call it podcasting. It was just, oh, hey, now you can have audio and images in your feed, in the RSS feed, other media types. And I can remember the very first feed that I was listening to on a regular basis was a Harvard professor. And I remember just thinking to myself, holy shit. I never felt smart enough or able to take good enough tests to go to an Ivy League school, and B, never could have afforded it anyways,
Yep.
but to realize at that time, I don't need to.
Yeah.
All the knowledge that supposedly exists and is locked up in that, in the fancy school where the fancy people go, is now freely open and available as long as they're doing it to everybody. And then I started learning really fast. All of the stuff that the Mr. Harvard guy was out there preaching was actually the exact same shit that's being taught in every other program, in every textbook you could find in the library and everywhere else. So there really is no need to go to any of the fancy schools.
There's a book out there, and I think I've mentioned it before, and these you're going to hear me repeat a number of different books over the time as we do these live sessions, because there are a couple of foundational books that help inform my thinking. One of the most interesting ones around technology revolutions is a book called Book Business. And the author is a guy named Epstein, not that Epstein. But Book Business is around the evolution of the book. And if you it
Oh yeah, I remember something
highlights
about that. Yeah.
it highlights what Brent is talking about here. Like there was a point, and the quote from Anchorman, the smell of rich mahogany and deep leather bound books. Like, right. Like there was this time where that information was held sacred. And like, if you had access to a book, not only had access to a book, but you could read, you were, you were, you were a lead, right? And
Yep.
and then and those books had to be transcribes. Like, and the story that one of the stories that'll be told about this, if you look at some of the history back there, but it was really big that when you're transcribing the Bible, you couldn't interrupt the people who were transcribing because you didn't want people to miss words type thing. Like, imagine squirrel, and then all of a sudden you completely miss something. You miss an important line or important word. Anyway, so
Jesus
now
didn't die.
there's inconsistencies in those books. Well, then this cool thing came out, and kind of an invention. We started the printing press, right? And now all of a sudden you could start to print information in mass, and you no longer are transcribing things, you're getting content out faster. And then we went from hardcover books to paperback books, and you could just kind of go through the evolution, and you start to see this evolution to this technology, which started with someone handwriting some things, and then repeating that handwriting to disrupting the market with paperback books. And now all of a sudden books are more accessible to people because they're less expensive to create, less expensive to purchase. Then you move into the digital era, and you can if you go back in and read the book, and it's not a super long book. Again, it's book business. If you go back in and read the book, then you can start to look at the technology changes that we're going through right now and start to look at them through that same lens and say, oh, okay, we have been here before. It's just at a different scale, and more people are aware.
Yeah.
So anyway,
more people have access. Yeah, it's a big deal. Hey, folks, we're here every Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. Mountain Time. We're going to be doing an AI challenge or show coming up here in the second week of February, even though we still haven't done any work on it to prepare it, but we're going to do it. We don't know what day on that week, but we do know we have a week selected. And we know that Craig and Wendy are going to be participating in it. But so far, that's all we know. Sooner or later, we might get our shit together and pull this thing off. But it's something we're really looking forward to. And so if you'd like to go along for the ambiguous ride, please join us.
We might have to put Jen on this, like have Jen start wrangling this kind of stuff in the background. So maybe that's what we'll talk about a little bit later today.
But that's our goal. We have good intentions, and that's what we'd like to do, because one of the things
we're doing it.
That's right. One of the things that we like to do here is to help lighten the load in your AI trauma that you're all experiencing, the fear factor of life around AI disrupting your career and everything that all the negative things that you're feeling. Hey, it's okay. We've been here before. We've done these technology changes before. And by we, it's not just me, it's all of us. And so we're working out loud here. I've created an executive newscast producer utilizing AI, and we're telling you guys about it most mornings. Other mornings, we pontificate about other things like this morning. But we tell you about how this stuff works and how I'm building it, and how we're bringing you the news for today in a very fun and lighthearted way. So I'll get started on it, and then we'll go from there. How about that, Mike?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Good morning, learners, earners, and people who still haven't finished their 2025 compliance training. It's Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. I'm your host, and today's L&D news is moving faster than a Zoom call when someone mentions mandatory cameras.
I'm telling you, I am really happy we've gone back to the non-thinking producer. Welcome back.
Me too. Our top story, the great HR shrinkage. Industry titan Josh Bersin just dropped a report that's sending chills down the spine of every HR generalist with a clipboard. He's predicting that AI super agents are about to automate, wait for it, 30% of HR roles and up to 70% of the work currently done by training and development teams. Person says 2026 is the year we stop using AI as a sidekick and start treating it like a super agent. For L&D, this means the era of manual course building is basically over. If you spend your week manually tagging metadata in an LMS, I have bad news for you. A bot just did that in the time it took me to say synergy. Why does it matter? L&D pros, if 70% of your administrative tasks are being eaten by the machine, you need to pivot to digital leadership and skills architecture like yesterday. We talked about that yesterday. It was yesterday's top story as well, but apparently Mr. Producer thought it was important enough for today. And I did go back in and check to figure out why it did that. And in my prompt for it, I do say, look, only search and select current news that's occurred within the last 24 to 48 hours.
Ah,
So it does look back a day.
cool. I think this is a.
Because I just don't think we have enough news. I don't think that L&D has enough stuff going on to get something fresh. With like, if I did within like the last 2 hours, it would be like, hey, there's nothing out there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't move that fast. So I think I mean, my biggest takeaway from that first part is I like the non-thinking version of the producer.
Yeah.
It didn't overcomplicate it, and that might be a pretty interesting takeaway relative to how you operate inside your business. But yeah, I think
Let's sorry. I am going to interrupt you right there and just explain to folks what you mean by that. So in the prompt of Gemini on the bottom right-hand side, there's a thing you can select. You can select either fast, or you can select thinking, or you can select pro. I think there's one other one as well. I don't remember what it is. But yesterday when I ran the agent, I chose thinking instead of fast. And it was really lame. It overthought everything and it tried too hard to be funny, and it wasn't funny at all. And so when we switched it back, after we went off the live stream yesterday, I switched it back to fast and reran it, and we were cracking up. The AI was hilarious. So that's what we mean by that.
Let's get to the next one, just because I went on I got going on a soapbox this morning, back and forth shouting across.
That might have been the thing at the end of yesterday that we wanted to talk about today. So I'm glad you were able to get that off your chest.
There we go. Thank you. I feel better. I feel seen, heard, and
everybody feel better. So, if you have to do that, that's great. Next up, science. Researchers at the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology have discovered that AI learns significantly faster when it talks to itself.
Huh.
Oh, hello, Brent. Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, I'm doing good today. Apparently, internal mumbling and oh, wait, sorry, I forgot to switch to my internal mumbler background. There we go. Apparently, internal mumbling and short-term memory help AI switch tasks and generalize better with less data. Finally, science has proven that the weirdo in the cubicle next to you who narrates his own emails is actually just a highly advanced learning model.
Have you seen my stapler?
What's that?
Have you seen my stapler?
No.
Come on, man. Office Space.
The inner voice breakthrough means the AI tutors we're deploying in our companies are about to get a lot more flexible and human-like. We're moving away from, I don't understand that query, to let me talk this through with myself and get back to you.
What do you think that leads to?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just like, we were talking before. We've talked before about the number of hallucinations that we see, and in the challenges that end up happening when it starts kind of working its way through and saying, you know what, I think that's cool. This little human over there wants to do these pretty cool icon images, but I'm going to give it a little bit more detail because people want additional detail. And it starts kind of evolving and moving forward and starting to go a little bit faster. I mean, the talking with itself, does it create more hallucinations?
I think that's something that I'm guessing that everybody is trying to figure out and test. My guess would be the reason why we're building things that do that is to keep it from hallucinating. Like when all this stuff kind of first started like 6 hours ago, it it was, um, "Hey, everybody, let's write a prompt, and here's how you write a prompt." Well, then it was, "Well, now here's how you just ask AI to write the fancy prompt for you. You tell it what you want, and then it writes the prompt for you." And if you use one of the advanced tools, you can go in and look at the prompt that the tool generates based on your query. So I write 3 or 4 sentences, it
Yeah.
builds this thing. And then I go in and I look at the code, and it's like the prompt that it writes is like amazing. And funny enough, oddly, it's exactly the really fancy prompts that people are selling online and all that kind of stuff. And I knew at some point it would accept just voice input.
Yeah.
And what I noticed about the code that it made at the end of some of the deep thinking ones and the deep research stuff, it would say, review this as a unbiased observer and think through if it's appropriate, and then rewrite it. And then, and so it's asking itself, and there are built-in ways that it's rethinking and thinking through and thinking to itself, and whatever it comes up with, it reads what it comes up with and reevaluates it.
Mm.
In some instances, and I don't know if that's every instance. I don't know if that's built into all the LLMs now and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. This is in the Science Daily OIST from yesterday is where that story came from. And so I'm not exactly 100% sure.
One of the things we may want to do this tomorrow and keep adding these things. We're like, hey, tomorrow, why don't we get into that? We're just trying to create a little bit of suspense and draw you back in tomorrow. Because if you really want to hear it, you got to listen tomorrow. But anyway, there's a and Craig said, hey, don't say some of those things out loud. But I want maybe tomorrow. One of the things to go through is put the prompt in and then show the background around how the tool basically iterates on that prompt and works through itself with it so that you've got that longer version, because there are a lot of people who are out there promoting the prompt to end all prompts. Like I spent whatever to
I made $1 million off this prompt, and I made $10,000 MRR on this app that I created, and
I can show you how to get abs in 6 minutes. Like, come on now.
You want 6-pack abs before you go to the beach? Just do this one thing. Just do it today, not every day. Just today. Ugh. So anyway, so that was our here's the other piece that I don't think we've told some people that might be new. We do one top breaking news story. We do one that's tech and innovation. The other one is human and culture. And then the last one we do is I've asked the AI to just pick any industry and do a specific L&D story focused on one specific industry, like manufacturing or pharma and all that kind of stuff. Today's is pharma. So our final and finally, our industry spotlight, biopharma. The Pharma Industry Trend Report 2026 is out, and it's a wake-up call for R&D training. With AI accelerating drug discovery, the human scientists are under pressure to out-innovate the algorithms. Pharma companies are ditching one-size-fits-all training for skills intelligence platforms. They are literally forecasting which skills they'll need in 2027 to manage the AI-driven R&D pipelines. It's not just about biology anymore. It's about data literacy and cross-functional collaboration, or as I call it, talking to the IT department without crying. If you're in a high stakes industry, your L&D strategy can no longer be reactive. You have to be a skills forecaster. Yeah, I guess we're talking about that whole skills conversation thing again. It's like, didn't we always have to be a skills forecaster? Come on, people.
Like literally, what are the necessary skills to do the work?
Yeah.
And but it's funny. Um, Skills are kind of boring. It's
Yeah.
cool to buy tools. Like, check out this new tool I got. Uh, this new shiny thing, the new shiny driver, or the new shiny putter, or the new shiny ERP or CRM or LMS or um, LXP, or you throw in your three-letter acronym about this thing, and ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's like, what are the skills we are enabling and empowering our teams to build, and how are we stacking those skills over time to help improve capability as a business? And it's good to see the reminder coming back, but I also wonder if some of that is our bias.
But yeah, and why just biopharma? And why just high stakes industry? If you're
Yeah,
in a
but
high,
I think that's more I think that's more the tool reaching. I think that's more the tool reaching. Like, it's kinda
but
like, I mean,
yeah,
because
but is that intensity being driven by the report? And is this one of those moments where it's like, hey, who sponsored that report?
I'd have to
Oh,
read
look,
yeah,
it's
I'd
the
have to read
LMS that's selling its skills
yeah.
forecasting feature.
In in biopharma specifically, right? Like, that's the they're and they oh, by the way, this is the market they focus on. Like, we are the only we're the first. The one that I love is the first. We're the first to ever do this. And what you end up finding out after you ask a couple of different questions, including going
You
to the
know what? Everybody has one of these in their pocket. And why doesn't the L&D industry understand that this is where training needs to occur?
Brent, for those of you who are auditory learners, will you share what you had in your pocket?
Oh, yes, it's an iPhone, an old one, but it's an iPhone nonetheless, a mobile device.
So, yeah,
Ugh.
it's I think the piece is in this I mean, I know I'm let's just get back to ask better questions. We ask the questions like, what are we trying to accomplish? Um, why do we need to do it? Why have we struggled with accomplishing it? These kind of questions can start to form some of the skills that are necessary once we move into the how kind of piece. And we have those conversations. We actually will realize, you know what, to Brent's point earlier, we've been here before. Like, we've done these kind of things. We've dealt with technology changes. And the one that I think is the funniest right now is how many is like the different camps that people are going in around. You need to invest more in the technology, and then the other ones around, is your technology investment even working? And like, there's like, depending on where you are, where you entered in, did you enter in the freeway on the ramp that says I need to invest more and I'm starting to go through, or were you just getting off the exit of that freeway and you're moving into the, hey, are we actually getting something out of this investment? And at what point in time are you going to get
Yeah.
pulled right back in because the magnet just sucks you over there? So anyhow,
We have 10 stories that hit the cutting room floor as well.
good. Let's hear it.
And they might even be better. And this time it came with links, which is good.
Cool.
90% of faculty say AI weakens critical thinking, according to an article in Forbes. A survey by AAC&U and Elon University highlights a growing rift in higher ed. The end of overlong LMS systems. L&D moves toward lightweight workflow integrated hubs.
Mm.
And in that source is Skills Hub.
That's awesome. Brought to you by
California Consumer Privacy Act, new rules for companies using AI without human involvement in hiring. That's the source is Kelly Services, happens to be a hiring recruiting company, for those of you that don't know. Agentic AI in HCM systems. ADP reports 48% of large businesses have already adopted agentic AI. You buying that?
40%.
48% have adopted already adopted agentic AI.
In which specific space?
ADP, just large businesses. 48% of large businesses.
What's their definition of large business?
Well, I don't know. We'd have to click into the resource and actually read the article, Mike. This
Well,
is
I'm
this
just
is the cutting room
I'm
floor.
messing around again, reminding people, hey, critical thinking is still critical. Like, we can ask questions, we don't just take it. But yeah, you can cherry pick it. I mean, if 48% is of large businesses is based on market share of companies over X dollar amount, and all of them happen to be connected in one way, shape, or form to either uh, investing in Google, investing in Microsoft, investing in Salesforce, investing in OpenAI, investing in whatever, then yeah, shocking, 48% of those companies are actually investing.
Yeah.
The question I would have is, of those companies, who are the ones who aren't, and why aren't they?
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
or what do they mean by adopted?
yeah,
Just because they upgraded their Microsoft 365 account to include the new agentic AI, it doesn't mean they actually know what in the hell they're doing with it. So,
right.
anyways, all right, it's the cutting room floor, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on these, but they're interesting sometimes. The emergence of new schema memory requires sleep. New neuroscience research on the role of rest in learning. I did see a bunch of people talking about that. Well, not a bunch of people, but I did run across it yesterday. It was interesting. There's always been science on the value of sleep and why your brain needs it. But apparently there's more. So check out the Journal of Neuroscience to read more about that. SEL programs improve academic performance. A USC study provides evidence for social emotional learning ROI. I wonder if they're selling a workshop by any chance on SEL to businesses. Never mind. I'm trying harder not to be such a
No,
cranky old skeptic.
that's part of our charm here, Brent. That's why people want to listen to this. We got to give the people what the people want, or at least
What
keep
if,
giving it to them until they want it.
what if people are getting tired of the crankiness, though? Come on. Don't be such a skeptic, Brent. Come on. Try to be positive. Here we go.
And
Here's
that's
a
what
good one.
happens when the AI talks
Manufacturing
good.
hiring increases by 4%. That's amazing. I'm so psyched about that. I'm manufacturing is hiring 4% more, a rare bright spot in a slowing global hiring market.
Good.
10 global compliance concerns for 2026. Thomson Reuters warns of regulatory fragmentation in AI. 97% of workers ask ChatGPT for advice over managers. A shocking stat on the breakdown of traditional leadership.
That's awesome.
That is a good one. Oh, hey, the source of that one is Training Magazine.
Oh, okay.
You know, the rise of work slop, dealing with the
Add
influx.
that link into our Slack channel. I want to read that one.
You want to read that one? All right, here,
Not
hold
the
on.
work slop one. The challenges with leadership.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love that. The rise of work slop, dealing with the influx of low quality AI generated corporate content.
I've got actually, I know I'm going to read this one, but I think this is awesome. Awesome. Fuck, that was a Freudian slip. A combination of both ass and awesome. Here we go. I think 97% of workers ask ChatGPT. What's the global adoption of ChatGPT across all workers?
Can't be 97%.
That's awesome. Again, awesome. There we go. New word into the vernacular.
That is so awesome. You know what's great about that is that we won't get pinged on YouTube or anything for it. We just invent our own new word. Oh lordy, lordy, lordy.
That is awesome.
I forgot to switch to the pharma image. There we go. Now it just looks like I have noodles coming out of my head. Well, one thing I never read, which is sometimes pretty funny. Today's probably isn't all that funny, but they actually have a little closing part of the script. Today's is that's the brief for today. I'm off to go mumble to myself in the break room to see if I can increase my cognitive load. Stay curious, stay employed, and for heaven's sake, stop using Comic Sans in your slide decks.
I see, like, again, I have really like the non-thinking version of this thing. It goes throwback to some of the other stuff. Like there's little bit of a callback. I think that's what they call it in the industry. Is that what that is? A little callback. And and everybody likes the joke about Comic Sans.
But then I'm supposed to cue the outro music and then fade to black, and I'm sure that we should have a graphic of some sort.
I think Fade to Black might be good outro music. Metallica might not. They might come after us.
Yeah, we can't do that. But anyway, so we need to get some custom
We could have
music.
Craig record. We could have Craig
Craig,
a riff for us.
Craig, we need stingers and a music bed. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just AI it and it'll tell you. So while we're talking about that, that I remember why I wasn't going to share what I created because I can't do my system audio. Since I'm not using my eCam to push content, I can't mix all of my own sources together and push it into your system. But anyways, I used Suno. And I did create some cool ones, but it doesn't let me download it because I don't pay for it.
What's Suno?
And suno.com is a song generation platform. And it, I hate when it makes me go through all this crap just to sign in. Just keep me signed in, you stupid things. Okay, anyways, I'm not going to worry about it. Anyways,
coming from the guy who operated in the security space for a little bit of time.
I know, right?
The security. This is awesome.
Now I know why everybody used to bitch at me. Why do you make us do this? I tell them, hey, this is important. You don't want to get, But when it's apps like this, it's music. Do I care that anyone's going to steal the stuff I create or log into my Suno account? I don't care who logs into my Suno account. If I started trying to make money in it, let's see. But we need a contract guarantee.
Yeah. I won't commit to it. We're going back and forth on the Slack thing. And again, this whole walking and chewing gum thing, we want real-time interaction, but have not figured out how to get the Slack loaded in here in a way that works. It works in here.
You didn't like putting the other camera, making it like a screen share?
No, because it just was super just awkward. I didn't get it into my workflow. Maybe we'll figure that out. I think the one that I could do, which would be kind of interesting, is in your on your Mac, if you've got a Mac, you can share the screen on your phone into the Mac and then share it as a separate thing.
Oh, yeah, do that. Put Slack on your phone and then share it in. Yeah.
See, look at that. This is what happens when the AI starts talking with itself. They start working through things just like Brent and I did in real time. See, all the same, just happens in a different operating environment.
It could have done it in milliseconds faster than we just did in that conversation too.
Wow. Freaky fast.
Fast.
Yeah.
I love a reciprocity band. It is just fantastic. Here's the part that freaked me out, Craig. Yes, and the fake band you sent us was exactly why I signed up for Suno to do it, but I don't pay for it. I tried to download it and it wouldn't let me, but then it also said you have to have a paid account to be able to license this and whatever. And so I was just going to record it because it was a cool 9-second stinger that sounded just like a news broadcast,
If you're listening to this and you want to engage in that part of the chat, just send Brent or me, whoever you can connect with faster a note, and we'll work on getting you into the Slack channel. If you use Slack, this is kind of a cool way to be able to interact. What we're trying to figure out is how do we bring it into this environment? And we've been testing with Restream now for a little bit over 70 days working through this stuff. So that's when Brent's talking about that stuff with Craig, that's what he's looking. That's what he's looking at over there, and it's cool because the thing I like about it is we're able to keep all of these links, and you're able to go back in and start looking at some of the source data on some of the things that we're talking about, and the conversation persists. Like we start to have some threaded conversations around some of the topics here, which I'm sure
a lot of these topics,
Craig's he's our industry expert on learning styles. And if you'd like to sit down and talk with him about learning styles and the impact of learning styles on your instructional design, check out Craig.
Yes, check it. Send all of your instructional learning theory questions to Craig at ilovelearningstyles.com. Sorry, Craig.
No, you're not. So, all right.
Well,
we were kind of all over the place today.
Kind of all over the place today, but when aren't we really? That's the real question.
Want to thank a couple of people for being on here. It was great to see Beth in X. Still trying to figure out why some of this stuff. It's super weird that we saw the comment come in there, and I know the comments are happening in LinkedIn, but they're not coming through. So
it's crazy.
If anybody is really familiar with Restream and wants to help there on understanding why those are not coming in, let me know that. We may end up having to update some of the integration pieces there.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Restream, so I can't help.
Yeah. Brent, where can people find you?
People can just find me on LinkedIn, just right where you're looking. My name should be at the bottom of the screen there. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But
our little banner covers your name.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, you can't move the name up? You're not able to do that?
I don't know. Doesn't look like it. You know what you could do? But we're going to hack the system. Tomorrow, when you join on, give yourself like a subtitle.
Oh, and that'll knock it up.
Yeah. See, look at this. How many people know how to get the technology to do what you need it to do by just applying a little bit of creative and critical thinking?
Well, I was going to say, in eCam, you can just click on that and drag it up and put it wherever you want to, but.
Awesome. You can find your catalyst at findmycatalyst.com. Connect up with us on LinkedIn. That is where we're seeing a lot of interaction. It's good to see the interaction on X.
And watch for our announcement on the challenge, the AI challenge coming up.
That AI challenge is going to be good.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It definitely is going to be fun. All right. Want to do this again tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. What the heck? Let's do it.
All right. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.
Adios, everybody.